Hello, how's everybody doing tonight? Really good to be in your companies. This is Bishop Edlin Scott, and this is Phenomenal Leadership. I want to say a very pleasant good evening to everyone that's watching us here on Facebook or on YouTube. Those of you that go over to the YouTube channel, I want you to like and subscribe to my channel. To go ahead and like it and subscribe to my channel. Really excited about the opportunity, as always, to share with you. Not been with you for a couple of days. Last week we were in our convention and we really had an absolutely beautiful time in the Lord. Absolutely great fellowship, and I really thank God so much for it. And so I'm not intending to be before you long tonight, but I want to talk a little bit about focus. Focus. Yes, focus. Now, I know a lot of times when we think about focus, I guess there are two things can come to mind. Focus can mean trying to see clearly, or focus can mean zero in on one particular thing. And so I want to talk about zeroing in on one particular thing. I was reading something out of John Maxwell's book called Leadership Promise for Every Day. And one of it spake about sharpen your focus, sharpen your leadership. When you sharpen your focus as a leader, when you sharpen your focus, you also sharpen your leadership. And that's very important. One time I heard a story told about someone that went to a church that had a very small membership, maybe about six to eight persons in the entire membership. And so when the praise team was called, those 6 people would get up. When the choir is called, those 6 people would get up. Among those 6 people are the musicians. Among those 6 people are the ushers. And so it looked kind of funny. It looked kind of strange that everything that goes on involved these 6 people. But when I think about it, it is because they are all focused in one direction. So when it's time to play the music, they all play the music. When it's time to usher, they all usher. When it's time for the choir, then they all sing. Or the praise team, they all sing. So their focus wasn't scattered in all kind of different directions. Their focus was always channeled in one direction. One of the quickest ways that the devil can defeat you is as simple as this: give you too much things to do. If you have so many things to do and you're trying to do a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit there, a little bit the other way, chances are nothing probably is going to get done. But when you zero in on one particular thing, then you're going to find that it's a whole lot that's going to get done. I've had a successful January, February, March, April. January, February, March, April. I met my goals. God has really been good, and God has done what He promised. And so, as I now take off for my second half, so I did the first quarter, now I take off for my second half, rather than just go ahead and do, I begin to look back into what I did right. See, success is a combination of right moves. So I began to look back into what I did well. And so whatever I did well, January, February, March, and April, I'm going to do them again. What I didn't do well, I'm not going to fool with them. I'm going to just focus on what I would have done well. And so as I began to think about, and I began to share with my wife, I think it was yesterday or maybe this morning, of things that I want to do, things that I want to make better. And so we began to talk about it. And I think my success came as a result of my ability to focus. Focus is the center of interest. Focus is the center of interest or the center of attraction. People do not pay attention. Or like in basketball, people watch where the ball is where everybody is watching. Where there's no ball, people are not paying attention to that. And so I've concluded that in the next quarter of this year, I'm going to focus now on what is important. How is it as a leader can you sharpen your focus? How do you sharpen? Now, I'm trying to say leader as less as I can because I don't want you to feel as if this is not for you. But this is for everybody, like I've always said. Leading is everybody. Whether you lead a group, whether you lead 5 people, whether you lead 2, or you just lead yourself. Leading is for everybody. So, what is going to be required of me? How do I apply that focus so that I'm able to become that effective leader that is necessary and critical for this time? So I'm going to throw 3 things out at you, because I'm not going to be before you long. I just want to throw this little nugget into your spirit to kind of help you. Whatever it is that you want, that has to be the thing that you focus on. My lecturer at New Covenant University has gone on to be with the Lord. Dr. Paul Christ likes to say it this way. What you focus on the most, which where your mind is focused the most, will come to you in time. So wherever your focus is where all your energy goes, and eventually you're going to get it in your hand. The key to focus or to sharpening your focus is knowing how to prioritize things. Knowing what's important. See, the devil can give you a lot of good things to do. And I shared this on Sunday night at our church. I did. On Sunday night. If your assignment is today is my wash day, the devil can cause you to clean up your front room, clean out your garage, clean out your basement, clean out your car, and find a whole lot of other things. Fix your closet. But remember now, today was your wash day. So the end of the day is here, and you still haven't washed. So you did some good things, but what was priority wasn't dealt with. So in order to sharpen your skills, you must be able to adjust your priority. So what is your priority? Your priority must always be putting right things first. What is most important? And I see it a lot in churches where let's say the praise team will be singing. And so somebody is sitting down reading their Bible, looking through something on their phone, or doing a whole lot of other things. Or the preacher's preaching, and then somebody is reading their Bible, not following what the preacher's saying, but just in the Word. Now, all of these things are good, but are they the right things for that time? So, in order for you to sharpen your skills, it starts with you being able to focus on what is priority. So, the key is prioritizing and your concentration. Had I had not prioritized what I wanted to do January, February, March, April, I would not have gotten it done. If I didn't concentrate all of my energies towards it, I still would not have gotten it done. I was able to get it done because every day I talked about it. Every day I looked towards it. And so in order to become a successful leader, which is critical for this time, is that you have to know how to sharpen your skills by your concentration and your priority. Here are some guidelines. Let me give you 3 guidelines, and then we're going to be done. Let me give you 3 guidelines. So another 4 minutes, I should be finishing up. I'm a little tired tonight, so I'm not going to try to bore you and hold you long. Let me give you 3 guidelines on how you can sharpen your skills. Remember now, when you sharpen your skills, you sharpen leadership. Number 1, focus 70%, the majority of your time on your strength. You ever notice the things that you do well, you can do them fast. The things that you can't do well, takes a whole lot of time doing it. So it is easy to get bogged down in challenging things. And so the whole day is gone. Even in school, they used to teach us that. They used to teach you that if you come to a problem that you don't understand, you go to the ones that you understand and you come back to that one. So if the exam starts within the first hour, you spend the whole hour on one problem. Right? You have 10 questions. Question number 1 is your challenging question where you can't figure it out. And so you spend the entire hour trying to figure that out. Getting ready to drift into the second hour. You have 2 hours. So you wasted it trying to figure out problem number 1. Right? When the sensible thing is you move away from problem number 1. You deal with problem number 2 through 10. So you get 9 right. And then you go back to problem number 1, and then if you don't figure it out, at least you got 9 right. But if you spend the entire time trying to figure out problem number 1, then at the end of the exam, you get none right. Not that you didn't know the other 9, but you got stuck at problem number 1. And so, in order to sharpen your skills, your focus has to be on your strength. Mm-hmm. So, whatever you are good at, work on that to make that better. Focus 70% of your developing strength. Effective leaders who reach their potential spend more time focusing on what they do well than what they're doing wrong. Because, again, Dr. Paul Christ used to like say this: you do not know what you do not know. I don't care how much you try to figure out what my code is for my phone. If I don't tell you, you probably would never find out. So what you don't know, you don't know. So spend very little time on those things that you do not know, or your weaknesses. But the most of your time, at least 70% of your time, should be spent on things that you do very well. So, in essence, you'll always be almost finished, rather than being stuck at things that you don't do well and those things that you're struggling with. So, effective leaders that reach their potential spend more time and energy doing things that they do well, and pay little attention to what they don't do right. The second thing that you do is, number 1, You put the bulk of your time on what you do well. We're talking about focus now. Number two, you spend at least 25% of your time on new things. Because again, if you're thinking development, if you're thinking, because it really should always be about growth. What was good for you in 2021 may not be applicable in 2022. Or if my game that I was successful with in 2021, don't you think my opponents now would have learnt my game plan? And so they are now prepared for it. So you have to grow. 70% of your time spent on what you do well. 25%, okay, out of 100 now. So we've used 25%, we've used 70%, so we're left with 30%. Out of the 30% that is left, 25% of it should be spent on new things. Okay? Doing new things. Why is new things important? If you want to get better, you have to keep changing and improving. Even though I enjoy success January, February, March, and April, I'm not going to use those same tactics. I'm going to use the winning ones, but I'm going to improve on them for May, June, July. May, June, July. I have a plan for it. I have a plan. And my plan is getting into some new things. So, if you want to get better, you have to keep changing. You can't be afraid of change. So, you leaders that reach their potential are people that are not afraid of change. And they are not afraid of doing new things. So, what that means is that you step out into new areas. You got to be prepared to step out into new areas. People can't know. Okay, let's just say you play basketball. So your killer shot, won a lot of games for you, is your fadeaway jump shot. So every time you get in the clutch, you get a fadeaway jump shot. Don't you think sooner those defenders are going to figure out they're going to the fadeaway jump shot and lock that down? So you got to be prepared to step out into some new things. In order to get your skills sharpened and to sharpen your leadership, you got to be prepared to step out and do new things or into new areas. If you dedicate time to new things related to your strength areas, then you will grow as a leader. Every piece of material that I can find relative to leadership, I want to swallow it up. I want to read it up. I want to know about it. When I hear people talking about leadership, I want to listen because I want to become a better leader. I don't want you to see the same me that you saw last year. I want a different me. And so I was talking to my wife about me. And I'm figuring out what I need to do. And she gave me some hard answers that I listened to and I understood. And so from today, I'm working on those answers that she gave me to better my presentation. It's not easy to have you sit down on Tuesdays and Thursdays and just listen to me talk. So it has to be something that is challenging. It has to be something that's energetic. It has to be something that is informative. It has to be something to grab onto you. So, when you dedicate time to new things relative to your strength or your strength areas, then you grow as a leader. Okay, so we've used 70% on your strength. We use another 20%, another 25%, developing new areas relative to your strength. Okay? So we've only left with 5. So Pastor Scott, what could we do with 5? I mean, what sense? We already got 95% of it covered. What do we do with 5%? Here's what you do with 5%. Focus 5% on areas of weakness. I used to think that just ignore your weakness. Really, you can't really just outright ignore your weakness, but you don't spend the rest of your life on them. Nobody can entirely avoid weakness or working in weak areas. The key is to minimize it as much as possible. Minimize as much as possible how much time you spend in them weak areas. It is your strength areas that win the game, not your weak areas. So you got to be very careful. 70% of the time spent on your strength. 25% of your time spent on developing new areas that support your strength. And then 5% is spent on your weak areas. Focus is very important. Focus is very important. You can be successful, you can get it done. But the requirement is simply this. You have to be prepared to focus. And so, when you sharpen your focus, when you see things better, when you sharpen your focus, when you forget everything else that is outside of your picture. Remember we talked about the picture in your head, right? Anything that is not a part of the picture, that in the conversation for today. As we planned for our convention, so we met with the committees and they began to talk about, the first event would have been the convention. Then we got another event in October. So they were trying to step over the pending event to go to the October event. So I said to them, look, you may have everything down packed for the October event, but if you got nothing for the current event, then this is an absolute waste of time. So you have to know where your focus is. So because they focused on the current event, it was successful, it gives momentum, and I'm sure by October, that event is going to be that much greater. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. But I want you to focus. I want you to focus. I want you to focus. Whatever it is that you're dealing with, whatever it is that you want to get done, focus on that. Focus on that. Not all those other stuff. Everything that's not going to make that picture a better picture, don't think of that. Don't involve yourself in that. But only that picture. You notice the runners, the Olympic athletes, they almost don't have on no clothes. And I believe they almost don't have on no clothes because the lighter they are, the more speed or the better they can perform. So don't try to carry anything else. Focus on what's important. Remember, priority and your commitment to whatever it is that you do. Thank you so much for joining me. This has been your friend Bishop-elect Edlin Scott Sidney. I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for being a part of our session today. Love you, love you, love you. See you again on Thursday, God's Spare Life at 9 o'clock.